Hello golfers, Bryan Pate here, coming to you from the bunker. I want to talk about fairway bunkers. This is also a great place to practice as opposed to just the range tee, because in here you have more variables and the surface is not stable. So we got to learn how to stabilize our body as we're swinging, as well as controlling where this club's entering the sand and how it's collecting the golf ball. So what I did here is I drew a line, just a light line on the ground for where the ball is going to be placed on. Where in the past we've talked about greenside bunkers, that golf ball is slightly in front and we're taking out this little box of sand and that golf ball is in the middle of that little explosion spot. With fairway bunkers, the ball is actually going to be on the line or on the back side of the line to say, can we collect that golf ball but still have the club bottom out in the same place as it normally would in a greenside bunker shot. Only difference is we're going to collect the golf ball first and then skim the sand on the way through, where in the greenside bunker we're taking about ½ inch of sand out from underneath that golf ball. So what I'm going to do is lay out a couple golf balls here on the line. I also put one additional line in here to help give me a reference point of where I'm aimed at. So as you're setting up this drill, it could be a couple golf balls, could be spaced out a little bit depending on your skill level, it could be a little bit closer. First, what we're going to do is put this line kind of in the middle of our heels. Normal for, I got a 9-iron in my hands, the line would be in the middle of my heels and the golf ball would be on the front edge, just so that golf ball is slightly forward of center out on the fairway. But being in the bunker, it's just a little bit back to help ensure that I collect the golf ball first before colliding with any of the sand. What we could do is set up to the line before I even make my first swing at the golf ball and learn what's it feel like to let the club skim the sand in front of the line. You might start with it too far in front, just like I did here, to get a feeling of what does it take to get my little brush on the left side or target side of the line for a right-handed golfer. If we're in here and making swings, maybe we're trying to help the ball out, finishing to the back side of the line, you can see where that entered and exited the sand. Those are the ones where now it was too low, too far back, skim the sand, and the club's coming out around the golf ball. That's the one where, hey, we could blade that into the bunker, keep it in the sand, or if it's coming out too soon, we can actually top it. It's going to stay in the sand. On the other side, we could take out a little bit. The club's going to exit just outside the ball. We're going to get a lot of sand in between the club and the ball. The ball might come out, might not come out, but it's not going to go very far. So as we're getting our entries in the right spot, then set up to a golf ball. When I'm in here, I can't be swaying too far away from the golf ball or using too much feet or leg action in here, because it's going to make it unstable. So it's also good to be in here and say, okay, how do we turn and not let our feet go all over the place so we have more stability. So let's give it a shot. So you can see there's a good strike. You could hear the sound. As I look at my strike point, there's the club where it entered, there's the club where it exited, and just a little bit of sand was removed. So there's feedback. Where did this club collect the golf ball? How deep was it? And then how did that golf ball fly? So if we're hitting the next couple of these balls, can we have the same entry point with these balls in the sand? So I go, okay, kind of missed the sand, caught the middle of the golf ball. There's one actually a little bit above the ball, so it left a little skid mark where it looked like I brushed the sand, but I felt that I hit the middle of the ball. So using these as good feedback tools of what actually is going on. Before the next ball, set up to the line, say what's going to feel like to skim the sand. There's me finishing with all my pressure on the target side of that line. Okay, here's my next ball. If I came into this guy and said, okay, let's make sure it gets out. Oh, it actually got out. Lucky enough, the lip in front of me is only 2 feet tall, but there's that entry point, and there's the exit point, and it's actually coming up and barely got below the middle of the golf ball to get that out. So the last one, if that happens, make a mark that's too far forwards. So, okay, there's my balance. One more time. Okay, there's just a little bit of sand. Not looking for deep holes here. Here's the last one. Setting up to it normal, good center turn. He goes, okay, there's roughly the same entry, good sound, where I got the club on the ball before any sand interfered with it. There's the exit. So use this line as some feedback of what's going on with your swing. When you're out there on the grass, you don't really know if it's a little too far behind, a little too far forwards, but being in the sand is going to give you more feedback of what's going on. Also, practicing here for 10 to 20 minutes equals practicing out on the grass for a greater period of time. Say an hour on the grass might be equal to 10 to 20 minutes here in the bunker, just learning how to strike the golf ball first, skim the sand, so we're not looking to smash down on it and remove tons of sand. We're just looking to take out the top little layer each time, but also controlling where that's going to be relative to our line and to where that golf ball was placed. When you're in the fairway bunkers, rule number one is always get it out. If you need to grab a sand wedge, do a greenside bunker shot and get it to play, do that first, then start taking less loft for more distance.